Hey, we are back. I couldn't leave you all hanging, okay? This is Mickle Markets with an interview with David Schwartz, guys. I don't want to talk too much. Please pay attention to what he's talking about, okay? The importance of auditability, okay? What many of the chains, many of these financial institutions, many of the asset managers, guys, okay? They will have to become compliant through auditability, okay? Check it out.
But I'll take any reason. The reason is auditability. You know, in most of the big problem with auditing right now is if I hand you a bunch of records and I tell you to audit them, you can audit them and you can say, hey, these records are cool. David's doing everything right. The problem is, how do you know that I don't owe somebody some money or have something out there that I didn't provide to you in the records that you audited? There's no way to do proof of absence in like the TradFi space. And so the way companies have handled that is they use a third-party transaction like operator. So if I'm the company, I hire him to do all my transactions for me. And if you're the auditor, you don't go to me, you go to him.
Right.
And the theory is he and I would have to conspire to withhold things from you. And he wouldn't do that because he's very trusted and well-known and reliable. But there's a lot of problems with this. One of them is if he loses your trust, I'm screwed. The other one is I'm paying him a whole bunch of money, and profit margins in this business are razor thin. I mean, it's so competitive that a couple of basis points is a huge difference. And me having to do everything through him is a huge drag. If he screws up, I can't service my customers. He's going to charge a lot of money because he has a reputation that's at risk. And that problem just completely disappears. You put it on a blockchain. Proof of absence is trivial on most blockchains. And on the XRP ledger, it's trivial to prove that my total exposure is this much. And you can do that continuously, right? If an auditor sends a request, if you send a request to him, I'm going to get a bill for everything he had to do to answer, right? And you can't audit continuously because he's going to get very annoyed, right? But you can audit blockchains continuously. You don't need to use a third party to launder your transactions and build credibility with auditors. That's going to be the main. Believe it or not, I know that's dumb, but that just, to these companies, that makes a huge, it's mind-blowing for them. And, you know.
So do you think the process will get like...
So I thought there was two very, very interesting things in there. One of them obviously being David Schwartz really hitting on smart contracts. Now, smart contracts have kind of been one of those things that every single blockchain has jumped into, and it might end up being a huge mistake. David Schwartz paints the picture there very clearly that smart contracts can be massively problematic for any financial institution looking to adopt this technology. And that's because they don't want to have to be constantly maintaining a smart contract that could instantaneously blow up everything they're doing. Smart contracts are very, very vulnerable to hacks and vulnerable to failures. Imagine starting out a company, having all this money, having all this investment dollar from different clients, and having a smart contract hack blow that up. The XRP ledger does stuff very differently. It incorporates all the native features into layer 1. It ensures that any feature on the XRP ledger is as secure as the underlying protocol itself. This is a very powerful statement. The Ethereum blockchain might be very secure, but you could have smart contracts on the Ethereum blockchain that are very, very vulnerable. And it's super hard to tell the difference of what you're actually interacting with and what could potentially get you into the trouble. The other very interesting thing here is what he talks about with auditability. This is something that I had never thought about, but something